man. The second I finally arrived home, Mom instantly noticed that something was wrong. Even if I hadn't slammed the door shut or arrived home late, her keen senses would have picked up the bad vibes. And so as I walked through the hall, the first sight to greet me was my mother's worried face. "Hideki, honey, what's wrong?" "Nothing." "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I just want to be alone for a little while." I brushed past my mother and made my way upstairs. The way I'm feeling right now, I don't have the patience to put up with my mother's silly antics. As I set my foot on the steps of the staircase, my mother ignored my warning and called out after me. "But Hidi, you have a face that says, 'I just won the lottery,' but then a thieving cat stole and ate my winning lottery ticket." What? I pondered my mother's words for a second, wondering where on earth she had heard such a ridiculous saying. No, that's too far-fetched to be an actual saying. In which case, did that ever happen to you, Mom? Wait, really? "The world is a cruel place, honey. The Lord gives with one hand and takes away with the other." You're not religious. That's right, and that story never happened either. It didn't? No? My mother winked as she spoke. "But at least it stopped you in your tracks, mister. So, are you going to have a chat with me or not?" Is "or not" actually an option? "Ha! Oh, Hidi, you say the silliest things." I figured that much. "Listen, you have been acting distant for a while now. Your loving mother wants to know the reason why." Yeah, alright. I've been avoiding telling my mother anything about Chinatsu, not wanting to worry her, but it seems to be having the opposite effect. I know she only wants what's best for me, so it must hurt her to see her only son so down. Mom's always been a rather light-hearted and cheerful person, but I know she really does care for me. In fact, I think it's because she cares about me that she's always so unrelentingly chipper. She's a lot more astute and far more reasonable than she looks. Good. Well then, shall we talk about this in the kitchen? Why in the kitchen? Why not the living room? I don't know. The kitchen... I just like the kitchen more. It feels more homey. I agree. Because we can sit in there and eat meals as a family. Maybe. Or maybe it's just because that's where all the food is. I take back everything I just said about my mother being a reasonable parent. Mom stared at me from across the kitchen table, her hands clasped together on the wooden surface. "All right, young man, what have you been up to?" My mother glared at me as though grilling a criminal for information. "You know, when you look at me like that, it makes me feel like I'm being interrogated by the police." "Oh? Was I being too much of a bad cop?" "Just a little." I thought, since this is a serious situation, I should try to sound serious to match, but maybe that was a little overboard." My mother cleared her throat, then resumed her line of questioning. "So, Hidi, what's the matter? Is it a cute girl?" Although my mother sounded like she was joking, she hit the nail right in the head. Am I really that transparent? Yes. That's right. "Ah, I figured as much. Well, I'm not surprised. It's often with boys your age. I remember when I was a young lad..." "You were never a young lad." "Oh, you've got me there. Anyway, what happened? Did you and Megami break up?" Why? Mom, I thought you said you were going to be serious." "I am being serious. Your mother will be really troubled if her favorite pairing doesn't work out." Oh, Mom for OTP. Oh, Mom have the best OTPs. Mom's OTPs are usually pretty good. I'm just putting it out there. Never mind. I was wrong to confide in you. I got up from my seat and headed for my room. "Ah, wait, I'm sorry. Mommy won't tease you anymore." Alright. I sat back down. "So then, tell me." The playful smile on my mother's face disappeared, replaced by a serious expression completely unnatural for her. "Is it because a cute girl rejected you? Is that why you've been so down?" I suppose so, in a manner of speaking. She wasn't very clear about it. Oh no. Being rejected like that really is the worst. You don't know how they really feel, so you think you're still in with a chance. But when you try to get them to clarify, they give vague replies or ignore you. Exactly. That's been exactly what's happening. I haven't even managed to speak to her for a week now. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I know how it feels, being strung on along like that. It's not good for your self-esteem. Well, I don't know if she's really stringing me along. It might have been a bit more complicated than that. I'm sure she has her reasons. Perhaps she's too timid to reject you outright. Or oh, my voice. I can't do prolonged mother voice. Or maybe she herself doesn't understand her own feelings. Either way, you have your own worth as a person. You deserve to be treated fairly. For any relationship to work, both parties must respect one another. If this girl isn't being clear with her feelings, and she's hurting you, then I don't know if she respects you. No matter how pretty she is, Heidi, you'll be better off without her, trust me. It isn't worth the hassle. I know what you're saying, but I think there's a bit more to it than that. It's complicated. Oh, how is it complicated? If she's shy, she could at least write you a note in your shoe locker. Or has that gone out of fashion now? That kind of thing only happens in TV dramas. When real people are too shy to admit they like somebody, they just dither around without acting on their feelings until it's too late. Maybe you're right. Letters and shoes appeared a lot in dramas when I was a little girl, but nobody in my class ever got asked out like that. To tell you the truth, I was disappointed. I wanted to write a load of fake love letters and put them in random lockers just to see what would happen. That's so mean. That sounds like something Mom would do. How positively evil. It's nice to know that she was still impulsive back when she was my age. I don't think Shinatsu could leave a letter in my shoe, even if she wanted to. After all, I'm no longer sure she even goes to my school. See, I have a feeling we might have known each other. And this, I've been waiting for her to say the name. Waiting. Ah, my mother paused, staring at me wearing a look of shock. Did you just say Shinatsu, Heidi? That's right, Shinatsu Misaki. I met her a few months ago, when we moved here to Okutama. Shinatsu Misaki. Yeah, I thought I was getting along with her, but then she vanished all of a sudden, almost like she never existed at all. I couldn't find her at school or in town, and when I tried to find out where she lived, I met an old woman who said Shinatsu and her family moved away from Otakuma 10 years ago. I paused for breath, only then realizing how quickly I had spoken. I realized I must sound crazy, but how else can I tell this story? I'm just relaying what happened. Or at least what I think happened. Honestly, my story sounds ridiculous, even to me. It's like a plot out of some stupid horror movie. Not even my mother, my light-hearted and fun-loving mother, could be expected to believe this. Now that I've said it out loud, I'm not sure I believe it myself. As I returned to reality, I noticed that my mother was still silently staring at me. Mom? Mom, are you alright? I called out to my mother, but she didn't reply. She simply sat there, staring over my shoulder, her eyes vacant. Have I upset her? Was my story really that troubling? I guess any mother would be sad at the prospect of her only son slowly losing his mind. I'm sorry, Mom. This is why I didn't want to tell you about it. It just sounds so bizarre, I know, but it really did happen, or at least, I think it did. I don't know. Hideki, you don't remember. My mother spoke up, her voice heavy with worry. Remember what? Oh, no. Of course you wouldn't. The doctors said that, and I didn't want to trouble you. I thought it would be better if you didn't know. But maybe I was wrong. Oh, shit. I can't. Oh, frick me, guys. This is gonna suck. I don't know. Shit. Doctors, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the accident? The one that occurred when I was a child? The reason why I remember so little from my childhood? The reason why we initially moved away from Okutama? Yes, my mother finally lifted her head, meeting my eyes with hers. Her expression was deadly serious and horribly, indescribably, soul-crushingly sad. I'm sorry, Hide, but there's something I've been hiding from you for a while now. Almost 10 years, in fact. My mother's words carried a lot of weight, but I could already guess what she was talking about. Although I know that something happened to me 10 years ago, I don't remember the incident itself. My mother always told me it was for the best that I left it in the past and that I shouldn't ask too many questions. That must be it, right? But what could possibly... What are you talking about? Hide, you say you met Shinatsu Misaki, but you couldn't have. There's no way. That accident 10 years ago when you almost drowned, somebody went in the river to save you. It was that little girl with dark hair. The one you always used to play with. I don't know what happened exactly, but she went missing and her body, Hideki, her body was found washed up on the riverside. She must have hurt herself trying to search for you, and she was Misaki's daughter, their only daughter. She was such a cute little thing. Even if she was a bit on the quiet side, her name was Shinatsu. Shit, guys. Wow. Field train has rolled into the station. Shinatsu Misaki. Now I know why Oh, it's my voice now. Now I know why she seems so familiar. I really had heard that name before. Dimly, a memory arose from within my mind, buried deep in the marshy pits of my subconscious. There was Shinatsu before. I used to know Shinatsu. We were best friends, weren't we? All until that fateful day. Oh, I can't freaking do this. Oh, this is hard. Dad, why do we always have to go to Sakuragawa? What's wrong with Sakuragawa? It's nice. Don't you love the smell of fresh air on the hot side? I pouted at my father, puffing my cheeks out like a squirrel's. I don't think the air is refreshing. It's only 30 miles away from Shinseki. Indeed, the physical distance may not be far, but there may as well be an entire galaxy between Sakuragawa and Shinseki. For one thing, the hills in Sakuragawa are magnificent beyond compare. Shinseki has nothing of the sort. Yeah, but Okutama has an arcade and an ice cream parlor. Let's just stay right here. Now, Hideki. My mother ruffled my hair, sporting a winning smile on her face. You don't need arcades or ice cream to have fun. You can make your own fun here in the countryside. That's what you said last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. But all we do is go on walks. I hate walking. It's boring. Aw, don't be like that, Mr. Grumpy. You always learn to appreciate the world around you a bit more. I don't want to appreciate it. It stinks. Quite literally, Sakuragawa is a pretty secluded place. all the way up past the mountains, and there are sheep and cows and everything, everywhere. Whenever we go for walks around here, the air smells of manure. Ugh, just thinking about it makes me feel sick. Can't we just go to Okutama instead? Most of my school friends are here, and I don't know anybody in Sakuragawa. We've been going to our summer home there for the past 4 years, and each and every trip has been quite equally boring. If we have to go on holiday, why can't we just go abroad? Ree's family is taking her to Paris for summer. Ree's family might be taking her to Paris, but Ree's family is a lot richer than ours. That's right. Isn't her mother a famous actress? Sorcy or something? A classy family like that would have to go abroad. I glared at my dad, my hands clenched into fist. Are you saying we're not classy? I'm saying that I'd rather not eat snails for a whole week, Hidi. I'd much rather stay in good old Japan. Dad patted me on the shoulder, smiling happily. Now then, do you want to help us load the car, Hidi? I was in no mood to cooperate with my father. I hate going to Sakuragawa. I hate the mountains. I hate walking. I really, really, really hate sheep. Why don't Mom and Dad ever listen to me? I keep telling them I don't want to go, but they just keep ignoring me. It's not fair. This is basically child abuse. Well, they won't listen to me, so then I won't listen to them. Hey, Hidi, where are you going? Hidi? Mom and Dad called out after me, but I didn't listen. Instead, I continued to run, pumping my arms and legs as fast as I could. Alright, suit yourself. Make sure you come back when you're hungry. Dinner will be waiting for you on the table. Don't go to the bridge. Don't go to the bridge. Don't. Fuck. Stupid Mom and Dad. Why do they never listen to me? I pouted, kicking at loose rocks on the ground with the tip of my shoe. I originally intended to hide out until nightfall, when it would be too late to drive to Sakuragura, but I soon realized that wouldn't work. If I did that, my parents would put me in the car while I was sleeping. Honestly, wouldn't they even consider staying here for summer break just this once? This is so annoying! I shouted out as I kicked another rock with the tip of my shoe. I kicked it a little harder than I intended, and the rock flew up into the air, and soon landed in a nearby riverbank with a splash. I turned my head, watching the falling rock, when suddenly... Hey! What are you doing? The river wasn't empty, as it usually would be. Instead, there was somebody swimming there. I can't see very well from this distance, but it looks like a young girl. Her hair is black, floating on the surface of the water. Spilled tar, and she seems to be struggling to keep up with the tide. Did she fall in? Is she drowning? Maybe she's in danger. Mom told me to never swim in this river. She said the current was too fast, and I'd get swept away. To further drive Mom's point home, I noticed a wooden sign driven to the riverbank which clearly read, "Swimming is prohibited." I don't entirely know what prohibited means, but I'm smart enough to realize that this girl shouldn't be in the river. Hey, are you alright? Hey! I ran over to the girl, extending my arm out towards her as far as I could. I reached out so far that I worried that I'd overbalance and fall into the water myself. I grabbed a nearby tree trunk for extra support, then continued to reach out. Hey, can you hear me? I promise that you'll be okay. Just grab my hand. Come on, you can make it. The girl lifted her hand, her damp black hair falling around her shoulders, and blinked at me. Was I the only one that realized that she was wearing a swimming costume? Does this mean that she didn't fall in after all? Was she swimming in the river just for fun? Having heard my frantic yelling, she began to paddle to the riverbank. Though the current seemed strong, she pushed through it unhindered with such grace that she may as well have been walking on dry ground. I watched her dumbfounded as a hot blush slowly spread across my face. Oh, I guess you could swim after all. The girl stepped onto the river, and I finally got a good look at her. Oh, she's Oh, she's so cute. That's probably. We'll go a little bit more. Or should I end it here? I'm gonna end it here and make you guys wait. I guess I'll end it here because this seems like a decent place to end it. Oh, freaking Shinatsu's so cute. She looks so happy. I can't deal with this. This is. I heard people said this visual novel was heavy in parts, but oh shit, I wasn't really ready for this. But anyway, guys, join me next time for possibly the conclusion of No One But You. But anyway, I will see you back on the prowl. Bye-bye.